One of the things that we would like for you to do, really that I want to say we demand you do, but we would like for you to do at the beginning of the course is before you actually get started is to take this diagnostic test. The purpose of the diagnostic test is to give us the chance to determine how you are right now at doing the TOEFL iBT before going through our course. Because at the end of a course, we have a complete exam review where we give you a complete exam to take. And we want to be able to compare how much improvement you've made. And so we really also, when you take the diagnostic course, you're going to send us each part of your diagnostic test so that we can grade it for you and give you an evaluation of where you are right now in terms of doing well on the TOEFL iBT. And so you want to make sure that when you're doing the diagnostic test, you follow the rules, okay? What I mean by that is only take like 20 minutes for the reading passage, okay? Just take a total of 10 minutes, actually take a total of 8 minutes to answer the questions from the one lecture and conversation. Take 20 minutes for your integrated essay, 30 minutes for your independent essay. Follow the timing rules for the speaking part of the diagnostic test. So be very accurate, okay? Be very accurate because you want a true assessment of where you are before you start the course in terms of the TOEFL iBT. So it's allowed for you and us to see where you are right now in terms of the TOEFL iBT, in terms of your ability. Because when you take this course, you're going to improve. You're going to do an excellent job by taking our diagnostic test. Because in our course, you're going to learn the exact methodology for how to do reading comprehension. We teach you how to think like the ETS reading comprehension test maker. You're going to be able to answer questions based on the same philosophy of how they made the questions. You're going to be able to watch us go through 4 reading passages, explaining to you step by step, question by question, how do you answer the things, question by question methodology. We're going to be explaining to you in our complete TOEFL iBT course the listening comprehension section in terms of you're going to have a chance to really learn how to take notes from a conversation in a lecture, and how does ETS really make questions and answers. We teach you how to do well for the speaking section by giving you templates for each of the 6 speaking questions and giving you useful language, and you can watch us and hear us do numerous examples and explain to you step by step what to do. For writing, we teach you how to make paragraph plans, paragraph templates that can help you write faster and more academic. So our goal is to really make you the best TOEFL test taker that you can be. But the very first step is you're taking our diagnostic test so that we can determine your current abilities before you start. For the reading comprehension diagnostic test, you're going to have to complete 1 reading passage. On the actual exam, you have to do 3 to 4. Follow timing, okay? 20 minutes to finish it, that's all. 20 minutes to finish it. Send it to us. We'll grade it. We'll give you feedback and let you know exactly where you are right now in terms of a score. For the listening comprehension diagnostic test review, you have 1 lecture and 1 conversation to complete. On the actual TOEFL, you have 2 to 3 conversations and 4 to 6 lectures. Based upon the percentage you get correct, we can get a good prediction of your current ability. Be accurate. Don't take 20 minutes to answer the questions from the lecture and conversation. Okay, you only have a total of 10 minutes on the real test to answer questions from 2 lectures and 1 conversation. We want you to take 8 minutes, only 8 minutes total, to answer the questions from the conversation and the lecture. Okay, so after you hear the conversation, start the clock. Okay, and let's say, for example, you use 3 minutes to answer the questions for the conversation. That means after you play the lecture, you have 5 minutes left to answer the questions from the lecture. Only take 8 minutes, please, okay? Follow the rules, follow the rules, follow the rules. For the speaking diagnostic, here you have a complete speaking test actually. We give you all 6 speaking questions so we can get a good evaluation of your current speaking score. So you'll have a chance to do all 6 speaking questions, all right? And you're going to send those to us by recording, by email, and then we will be able to give you a really good, accurate score of where you are right now in terms of your speaking ability, and we'll know better how to guide you, and we could probably give you some extra exercises because we'll have a good idea of what are some other areas you might need some help on. For the writing diagnostic test, it also is a complete test. You're going to do an integrated and an independent essay just like you will on the actual TOEFL iBT. Use your timing well. After the reading passage, 3 minutes. After you do the reading and the listening, you only have 20 minutes to write. Only do what you can in those 20 minutes. Do not go overtime. Okay? I want a true assessment of how well you really can do. For in terms of post-course completion, after you finish the entire course, we're going to send you a practice test to be able to do, and then we actually do online in a group setting a walkthrough, step-by-step, question-by-question, of an entire TOEFL iBT practice test. That way you'll know exactly what to do and how to do it. In taking the listening section of the TOEFL iBT, the listening comprehension section, before we really get into the process and the methodology, one of the things that we like to really explain to students to help them with knowing how to do well is to explain the process of ETS's process of how they make a listening question and get a listening answer. Because once you understand the process of how they make listening questions and answers, you'll understand exactly how to do well on the test. Our methodology that we teach, our methodology that we explain for doing well on listening comprehension is based on exactly how ETS develops its questions and answers for the listening comprehension. If you have knowledge of how they develop questions and answers for listening comprehension, you will know exactly what to do on the listening section of the test on the actual TOEFL iBT. Our methods are built around this knowledge. So that's why there's such clarity for our students when they take our course. There's such clarity for our students when they take our course because they have this particular knowledge. As you know, we teach a TOEFL iBT online course, and our online course is a wonderful course that covers all 4 areas of the exam. It's through the Udemy website, which is the best online teaching website, www.udemy.com, and you will be able to find our course on there by typing in TOEFL. But at any rate, and also the link is below. You can read the link also for going to our course. But we hope that you will listen to this presentation on how ETS makes listening comprehension questions so that you can better understand our methodology and know how to do a great job. All right, so any true expert, anybody that calls themselves an expert, will be able to explain to you the process of how they create questions and answers. Because however they're teaching you, it should be based upon that. And that's what we do in our TOEFL iBT online course. When you understand the process, like I said, you'll truly know how to do really well. You must become aware of the process of creating questions for this section and the process of creating answers for this section. That's an awareness you want to have, because when you know what the test maker knows, you get more comfortable. You get more relaxed. And when you're comfortable and relaxed, you do better. All right? If I walked up to you and I told you, I said, hey, this is how I'm going to make the questions to the test. This is where I'm going to get the questions from the test. This is how I'm going to get the answers for the test. you will feel much more comfortable, much more relaxed, because you'll know exactly how to prepare to do well. Now, no teacher ever tells you that or gives you that information, but essentially that's what I'm doing. I'm giving you this essential information. You want to be a copycat. Once you discover how they make questions and answers, you want to copy their process. And you copy that, and we teach you within our TOEFL iBT online course, we teach you exactly how to copy their process so that you can find the questions and answers every single time. Every single time you can find the questions and answers. Who makes the questions? We know that ETS hires different people they have in-house and out-house to make up the listening comprehension passages and the questions and the answers. Sometimes they're supplied with the passages and they make the questions and answers. But they have a team of people that does this design. And ETS is very strict in their development. Everybody has to do the same thing. A teacher can't use their own method or their own style. They have to use the ETS methodology of making questions, answers, and passages. That's why being able to use our process and our methodology works so well, because it's built around the consistency that ETS demands its designers, test designers do when they're creating passages, questions, and answers. The first step of the process is, of course, conversation and lecture script creation. We're not going to explain this in a lot of depth. Basically, they get their designers to create a conversation or a lecture. They choose a subject matter, and then they create a lecture that lasts about 5 to 7 minutes, and they try to make it as much as possible like a university lecture. And so what they do a lot of times is they add in transitions and signposting to show when somebody's moving from one passage to the next, or they put in questions from students, digressions, repeats, self-correction, hesitation. They do all the things within a lecture to be able to indicate to a student that something important is being said. So they add that stuff into a lecture when they actually design it. And for conversations, they do the exact same thing in terms of being able to indicate to somebody when something's important. Within the course itself, we teach you within our course how to recognize this kind of important information so that you know what to write down in your notes, because this is exactly how they design the conversations and the lectures. Like I said, we're not going to go into it very deeply, but just so you can have a little bit of information about that. Lecture topics can cover many things. They can cover arts, all these different arts. They can cover a lot of physical sciences in terms of all these different physical sciences, social science, life science. So you have a wide range of topics that are covered on the listening for lectures, at least. For conversations, in terms of topics, is usually having something to do with a class subject, or something of that nature, done with a student-professor relationship, or a student in the registrar's office, or something dealing with a university subject matter. But they pick a subject matter and they design a lecture or conversation based upon it. Moving on to the questions. Once the designer has the conversation or lecture, they listen to it and they take organized notes, most likely using the outline method for taking notes. The designer most of the time will listen to the conversation or lecture 2 or 3 times to make sure that they have the essential notes that a